Yeah. So you can start. I'm my own stuff. Don't you lie. Are you guys feeling cold?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
It's not house girl.
okay, why are you the only one?
Because she is. I'm here. I'm from the.
Regina, if you are ready.
Not sure. Just because. I don't think it's a first one. Put it for today.
Can you hear me if you are ready?
Yes.
Okay, over to you. And maybe show your videos too so that they can see your face. She's a very shy person, don't worry. So. Yeah. So unmute yourself.
Okay. Hello. Hello, Dr. Shen, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can start. I can hear you. They can hear you as well.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen? I'm sharing my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So, Dr. Shen, can you post see what I'm presenting?
Yes. How does AI actually work? You can see.
Okay. Yes. So let's dive straight in. And thank you so much, Dr. Shen, for having me. And thanks, everyone. I've heard so many amazing things what you guys are doing. So this is me adding up to what you've learned over the past few days, seeing how AI really works. But I'm much more focusing on household names. Okay, so names like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. I'm sure most of you have heard of them. So with my presentation, I'm not going to talk about any mathematics. I know yesterday you guys did a bit of maths, but I just want to deep dive into how really AI works. So if you look at your favorite generative AI, how does it really work? So that's going to be my presentation for today. Okay, so let's just get started. Okay. Sorry, to share my screen again. Okay. Yes. So can you see this one now?
Yes.
So yes, so first thing first, let's talk about what your ChatGPT, your Claude, your Gemini is not, right? So it is not a brain. Don't ever look at your AI and say, "Oh, it has this amazing human-like brain." The way you think, it is not, right? So it has no thought, it has no feelings. It doesn't even know that you exist, but it's been given this intelligence. That's why it's called artificial intelligence, to make it reason like a human. And I would come there. So what I want you to know is that your AI is nowhere magic. It doesn't even know that you are there. Then the second thing that I also want to talk about, that it is not Google. It's not like it has this form of let me say database, that you are just it's just searching, copying. No, I would obviously come to that, but it is no way like Google. It's just the way it's been designed to be. And lastly, I want you to know that it is nowhere near magic. Like it's nowhere near magic. It just does some series of processing background that makes it feels like magic. So when you go to your Claude and you ask Claude for something and Claude gives you a human like response or something intelligent, it is not magic. There's a system behind it. So those are the three things that I want you to know. So what then is it? So let's move on to the next slide. in just one sentence, how your chat GPT or your Claude really, really works is that it always guesses the next word. So it learns loads and loads of examples, either as text. So if you give it text, it learns it so much that it can always guess what would come next. And over, it does it over and over again. If it's images, it's been trained on billions of images just to know how to generate something similar. So that is how it works. It always guesses for your next word. So let me use a typical example. I know most of you, some of you use phones, right? And you would notice that when you chat with your phone, right, there are times that you can ask it, you can just type a simple question. I am running a bit, and then your phone offers an auto suggestion, right? I'm sure most of you have noticed it. But back end, how did it know that it was late? That was because it was just trying to do some series of predictions. So back end, series of words. Okay, I'm running a bit. The next thing that could probably come next could be late, behind, low, right? So that is exactly the brain behind your favorite Claude chatbot, right? So it's just the same idea, but this one much more into a larger scale where it can write essays for you, it can debug code, explain some high level concept to you, because it always tries and predict the next word, the next image, how the images form together, just to give you something relevant. So that is exactly how it works. So today I want you to know that it's nowhere near magic when Claude is giving you something fascinating. Come on, it's just making some predictions. Okay. So having said that, let's just look at how it really, really works. Okay. So when next you open your Claude, or you open your ChatGPT, your Gemini, or whichever AI tool, know that it doesn't see words. It sees something we call tokens. Okay. And then I'll show you. So how it works is that computers cannot read our words, so they do read numbers. And I'm sure, um if you guys will recall, that's what Dr. Sheun is bringing in, the mathematics, right? Because this chatbots, they can't read words, they have to break it down and then convert them into numbers. So it's those numbers we call tokens, right? So I want you to take that from today's presentation, that when you hear someone say tokens in AI, it means that okay, it's just words that have been broken down and then converted into numbers. So I'll cite an example. When you write a prompt into your chat gpt, your Gemini, right, what it does is that it breaks those words into something we call tokens. So it start breaking it down into smaller versions. So an example is unbelievable. It doesn't know what unbelievable is, so it breaks it down into smaller words and generates tokens out of it and then convert them into numbers. So the highlight of what I'm saying is that whenever you write a prompt or you want to build an AI system, especially using the advanced, Claude, Gemini, GPT, just know that it will first take your prompt and then break it into something we call what, tokens. So it break it slowly into series of smaller numbers and then convert it. So after breaking it down, it now converts it, as you can see, into series of numbers so that the AI can be able to what, to understand. So that's the first thing it does. It breaks it into what, series of tokens. Okay. So let me move on to the very second thing that it does. Okay. So the very second thing that your AI does as well is that after breaking it down into tokens, it tries and fill in the blanks, and filling in the blank is more of the guessing process, because it doesn't know, it is not conscious, it is not human like you, so it has to fill in the blank by guessing, and it does so based on the millions of public data. So remember, it breaks it down into tokens, and then as it gets the prompt, we also sometimes call it chunks. So it breaks it down and then start playing that guesswork on those series of chunks. Okay, so I'll cite you an example. Let's say I type in the word the cat is on there, right? What the AI will do is that your Claude now guesses, okay, based on what I have been given, what will be the next word? And there are series of things that it comes up based on the millions of data that you know it has been trained on. So is it a car? Maybe it is not a car. Is it a mat? It doesn't know, right? So it comes up with series of guesses, and then how it does is that the model now checks its its answer, whether what it is trying to predict is actually correct. So I know that Dr. Shehu, I mean, over the past time, you guys have learned about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, right? So where supervisors, you have labels given to the AI, and then unsupervised is that you don't have labels. You just allow the AI to find some patterns out of it. And it's the same way our chat GPT and then Claude, Gemini also work as well, right? So it checks its answer based on some series of truth, whether in this case it is a car, it is not a car. And if it is not a car, it tries, or sorry, if the answer is not correct, it just tries to adjust it. So in filling in that blank space, it makes a guess, it checks its answer towards again some series of truth. And if it's not correct, it always refines that process. So what makes your Claude better is that refinement process, because it will always try and guess to the very best one. So from this slide, what I'm trying to bring out is that just know that no one is really teaching your AI, the way we learn French grammar, but then it's just trying to fill in that blank guesswork. Then the third thing that I want you to know is that within your AI, there is something that keeps changing, right? So as your Claude is making that guesswork, trying to first of all breaking the tokens down, working on that form of chunk work, there's something happening to it. There's something happening internally, right? And in AI, we call that parameters. Remember that it first of all breaks it into tokens, and those tokens are converted into numbers. So those numbers are being stored within that AI model, and we call them as parameters. So you could have some AI model having like millions of parameters simply because it keeps updating itself. So it will keep updating the numbers that are in there one at a time. It makes a guesswork and then it refines and then gets better. So I'm sure some of you may have heard, okay, some models having like millions of parameters. It's simply that change in numbers ongoing within the model. So that's it. And one thing I want you to know is that the bigger the number, the more better that the AI is, because it means that the AI has been able to learn and learn and learn a whole lot of things just to become better. So that's what makes, let's say, some versions of GPT better than some versions of, of, let's say, Claude, or Claude way better than some versions of, let's say, Gemini, because of this number of parameters that it has been able to update over time. And then one other thing too that I want you to know, to know again, is that back to our guesswork. So taking something out of this presentation is that y- your model always does a guesswork. So it always does a guesswork. So when you ask it a question, when you ask it to do something for you, it just comes up with series of things that it feel would be relevant, ranks them, so we call them probabilities, and then give you that particular answer. So an example, what is the color of the sky? Based on all that it know, it just ranks the correct answer and says that, okay, this guesswork, I think that the color of the sky is just blue. So why is this very important? If you have noticed something, you never get the same answer twice. Like, always, if I open my Claude right now and I ask my Claude, who is Kylian Mbappe, it will give me something about Kylian Mbappe. If I open another Claude chat and then I ask it again, who is Kylian Mbappe, it will still give me something about Kylian Mbappe, but much more refined. And this is the reason, right? Because it's always doing a guesswork and it would never ever give us the same answer twice. Okay. Now, wrapping and then getting everything together, I want you to know that because it's doing that, fill in the blank space, coming up with, okay, I feel this is going to be relevant, based on the prompt and then all that it has read online. There are times that it confidently make things up. Okay, so in AI we call this hallucination, right? Because it's doing a mathematical probability back end. It's not sure. So it just gives you the best word. Okay. So there are times that it does come up with things that it is very confident, but those things were totally made up. And please remember that, because you will be hearing that a lot. We call that hallucination. And one thing I want you to know is that when you are using your Claude, when you are using Gemini, when you are using all your favorite Gen AI apps, right? Confidence is always not equal to correct, right? Because remember, they were trained on millions of data on the internet. So as and when those data are updated, it has no idea about it. And the AI will not really tell you that I don't know, right? Because that is not really part of it, 8 millions of data. So what it has to do is that it just has to make a guess and then give you the output. So confidence is always not it's always not correct. That's why it can make up names of people, places, statistics, and especially if the information is not available online, the AI does not know. So it's always know information that are up to date, unless it gets an information that is trending. So that is what I want you to know. Then our final thing that I want you to take from this classes, this presentation, is that what does this mean now that you guys are building your AI products, you guys are doing a lot of hands-on work, right? You know that your AI is very good at explaining some either simple or much more complex. You use it for brainstorming, you use it for a whole lot of things, which is good. Build your AI products, using your Claude, using, your AI based tools. But one thing I want you to know is that you are the one at the center. So you know why sometimes it makes mistakes, because it's always making those kind of prediction, and it's always trained with information that is available at the moment, right? So I want you not to always trust your AI. Don't always trust the output that it is giving you. You also have to verify. If the AI hasn't seen the information, it doesn't know about it. It doesn't know about it, right? And it always does a guesswork. So that is what I want you to take away, moving on from here. So, folks, this is where I would end my presentation. And yeah, if you have any question, just ping me and let me know. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much. So we have two. Let's ask Auntie two questions.
Yeah.
Listen, let's ask Auntie two questions. Yeah. So, what's your name? I forgot your name. I'm trying to know. I think I want to know all your name before we finish on Friday. I'll try. Yeah. So, yeah. Shoot your question.
Earlier you said how when it doesn't see words, it sees token. How does it figure out what numbers to like label the words?
Okay. Okay, so about the tokens, yeah, that's a very good question. So how does it know what numbers to give it, right? Yes. So there is the AI before it is trained, we give it a series of vocabulary, okay, similar to the way dictionary works. So if you open a dictionary, I'm sure with Cambridge, Oxford, there's this, it has this alphabetical order, right? So A has a particular ID, B has a particular ID, C has a particular ID. It is the same way when it comes to AI, right? So people, I mean, labs, so Fake, Meta, Google, a whole lot, or even in my field of work, when I'm training, this kind of models, we use we use a vocabulary, and those vocabulary match the words to a particular ID. I don't know whether it makes sense. So that is how the AI knows and then assigns the numbers to it. So this vocabulary is so huge. It's so huge that almost every word in the world is actually matched to that. So that's how the AI learns and then assigns the various numbers to it based on the vocabulary that has been given. I don't know if that makes sense.
Does that make sense to
Yeah.
you? Yeah, that's fine. No, Emmanuel, right? Your name again?
William.
Eh?
Williams.
Williams. So last question. Okay. Femi.
How does the AI know how to rank like which answers to put in?
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. You guys are really asking brilliant questions. Yeah. So how does the AI know which answers to rank? Right? Is that is
Yes,
that
yes.
yeah. Yeah. So the AI knows the answers to rank based on what you guys have been learning. So Dr. Shung said you guys have been introduced to series of mathematics, right? So there's something known as a probability. So probability is where either it will happen or it will not happen. Okay. So the AI knows how to rank the answer to you by just going with that mathematical equation. Okay. So let me cite an example. What is the probability that it will rain today? Right. Mathematics sit down to assign some they calculate and say, okay, based on this condition, I think that it will rain today or it will not rain today, and that's the same way the AI does it. So based on the series of based on your question, based on the data that it has, it sit down, use that mathematical equation and say, okay, I think this is how I would rank it. This is how I will not rank it. So just to answer your question, right, it uses a probability approach to just predict. That's why it is a guesswork. It could happen, it will not happen. Please, have I answered you?
Yeah. So thanks so much. So let's clap for Auntie again. Yeah, actually short of time. Regina, just give them a very short parting words. For just you have seen a lot, so just parting words for them, all of that.
Yeah, so my short word for you guys is really keep at it. I am very proud of at what you guys are doing because you people are being equipped with s- a very important skill. So keep at it for me, like keep at it, and I can't wait to see some of you, coming up with witty inventions in the field of AI. So my parting word for you is just just keep at it, because what you are doing is really really relevant in today's world, and I wish you had an idea of what you guys are studying. So yeah, all the best, folks, and do take it very very seriously.
So what do we do to Auntie?
Thank you very much.
Louder. Yeah. Thank you so much, Regina. Thanks so much.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So